From efforts to ending birthright citizenship to taking on sanctuary cities and states over these ICE raids. We have full team coverage of these legal fights with Mills Hayes and Alicia Nieves this morning. Let's start off with Mills, who's in Chicago, just outside Chicago City Hall with the Trump administration's new lawsuit against the city. Mills, how is the state, how are Chicago leaders responding to all this?
Hey, good morning, Markie. Well, local leaders are pushing back, saying that the city of Chicago will remain a welcoming city. And this lawsuit essentially says that the city of Chicago, as well as the state of Illinois, should ignore state and local laws in order to comply with these federal immigration laws. And it actually says that this interferes with federal immigration officers' ability to enforce federal immigration law. And it also argues that the supremacy clause of the Constitution gives the federal government the right to create and enforce laws without interference from states. The lawsuit takes aims at state laws, the Illinois Way Forward Act, and the Trust Act, which bars state law enforcement from working with federal immigration officers. It also goes after the Chicago City Law, the Welcoming City Ordinance, which limits local police cooperation with ICE agents, and the Cook County Law, policy for responding to ICE detainers, which limits county police ability to provide the federal government with information about non-citizens in their custody. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker released a statement saying, unlike Donald Trump, Illinois follows the law. The bipartisan Illinois Trust Act, signed into law by a Republican governor, has always been compliant with federal law and still is today. We look forward to seeing them in court. But some local law enforcement officials, like Rockford, Illinois County Sheriff Gary Caruana, says that the current legislation is preventing his deputies from doing their jobs effectively.
The Trust Act does not allow us to call immigrations and say, hey, this person has an issue and they could be dangerous. And this is where I'm concerned, is about public safety. This person could be dangerous. You might want to take a look at this. We can't do that.
Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson took to X, saying that the lawsuit is under review by the city's law department, adding that the safety and security of Chicago residents remains the top priority, but the city will continue to protect the working people of our city and defend against attacks on our longstanding values. Now, Johnson accused the Trump administration earlier this week of trying to get the city of Chicago to surrender its humanity, and that's something that the city was not going to do. And Johnson has continued to call on the president to work with Congress to pass immigration reform laws. Markie?
I feel like this just leaves people in law enforcement in such a confusing place, right? Who's in charge? Who are we listening to right now? All sorts of convoluted. Okay, Mills, thank you.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. Also, don't forget to click that red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.